The Son is simply the Father seen. Even in the natural world, when you see a child, you automatically know there is a father. You know that child came from somewhere. No one questions the existence of parents when a child is standing right in front of them. That's why it's so astonishing that people question whether Yahweh exists at all. Yahweh is the Father, the parental substance of all things. If anything exists, it exists because it came from that parental source. Without the Father, nothing seen could ever be. Existence itself testifies to Yahweh. The confusion happens again when people mistake the title God for the highest existence. God is not the source. God is the Son. God is Yahweh made visible. God is the second movement of the Trinity, the point where the unseen Father steps into expression so he can be known, seen, and understood. Yahweh remains invisible spirit, but when that spirit takes on form, function, and expression, Scripture calls that God. It's not another being, it's the same Yahweh revealed. This is exactly what Psalm 14 is addressing when it says, "The fool hath said in his heart, there is no God." It's not merely talking about atheism in a modern sense. It's saying only a fool denies the visible expression of Yahweh, the Son. To deny God is to deny that Yahweh has expressed himself, to deny sonship itself. And when sonship is denied, corruption follows. That's why the text immediately says they are corrupt, do abominable works, and do no good. A being that sees itself as separate from its source will always act from distortion. When Yahweh looked down from heaven and saw that there was none righteous, none who understood, it wasn't because no one followed rules, it was because no one recognized who they were. There were no righteous sons. No one seated Yahweh within themselves as source and identity. Humanity existed as visible expressions that denied their origin. That condition is what Scripture calls being a son of perdition, a son who exists but denies his Father. These workers of iniquity weren't created evil in the flesh. They were already in that state before manifesting. Iniquity is not immoral behavior. It is distorted identity. It is being a son who does not know he is a son. That is why Scripture speaks of corruption and filth, not of failed obedience. The problem was never behavior, it was awareness. This is where the grace of Yahweh enters again. Just as Yahweh revealed himself through the Son 2,000 years ago, he is revealing himself now through understanding. GIATI is that grace in this time, not to make humanity something new, but to reveal what humanity already is. Mankind is God, the Son, the visible expression of the invisible Yahweh. When you realize this, you don't become divine. You awaken to your divine origin. That realization is salvation. Salvation is not escaping the world or appeasing the Father. Salvation is recognizing sonship. To know that you are God, not as source but as expression, restores alignment with Yahweh's will. The moment the Son recognizes the Father within, separation ends, perdition dissolves, and righteousness is restored. That is the message GIATI brings. Not religion, not morality, not distance, but identity remembered.